Okay, so welcome back to this session, the second session of the second day. It is the fourth technical session of the 5-day FDP organized by GNSS Laboratory, the University of Burdwan, and which is sponsored by AICT Training and Learning Academy, ATAL Academy, New Delhi, India. The workshop is on GNSS NavIC and applications. So in this session, our speaker is our very good old friend, Mr. Rainer Horn from Spacetech Partners. Mr. Rainer Horn is a seasoned management consultant leading his own boutique consultancy, Spacetech Partners, since 2009. His expertise across the space, mobility, and public sector, with a particular focus on global navigation satellite systems, GNSS, having successfully led the GNSS Asia program for the past few years. He facilitated industrial cooperation and economic diplomacy across Asia and Europe. During this time, he has been a renowned keynote speaker and panelist at conferences for GNSS, investment, technology, and institutional topics in Europe, the US, and Asia Pacific. Moreover, he is an active member of the steering committee for Multi-GNSS Asia MGA Consortium, along with several other institutional boards in space programs in Europe and Asia. Throughout his career, he has shown to be an avid supporter of startup and SME business, fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in the new space sector. With this outstanding expertise in business development and insider knowledge about the European space sector, he is actively creating opportunities for startups that leverage Euspace data. Mr. Horn is the global coordinator of GNSS Asia, an EU-funded project under Horizon 2020 running since 2012. GNSS Asia drives industrial cooperation across continents in multi-GNSS environment and has been very active in India, organizing Galileo Hackathons, startup support programs, and GNSS roundtables. So thank you very much, Rainer, for accepting our invitation and be present in this workshop or faculty development program with the participants. And very warm welcome from India. And thank you very much once again. And the floor is yours. Thank you very much. We cannot hear you. Your Rainer cannot hear you.
Good afternoon, India. Good afternoon, Anindya. Good afternoon, Dinesh, and many other friends who I've seen already in the participants list. I find it quite an honor to present here in your distinguished audience of lecturers and professionals in GNSS. Thank you for the invitation. We've seen many friends from around the world this morning already, activists in the GNSS education activity like Dinesh, yourself, and I hope I can add some value and bring a bit of a European global GNSS perspective to the picture. Thank you for the kind introduction. I will now try to share my screen, being not too familiar with Google Meets, but that will work out somehow. So let's see where we are. There we go. So let's see if it works. Can you see the screen? Hello?
Still now, no. Still now, no. I was just waiting.
Are you seeing GNSS Asia?
Yes.
Yes,
okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, let's get started then. So what am I going to tell you here today? I would like to give you an introduction of what we're doing in GNSS Asia. A bit more broadly, what is Euspace? What is Galileo within the European space program, which is widening and going way beyond GNSS. I'm going to give you some detailed views on the services and the applications, but also use cases of Galileo, but also how it cooperates with other systems in the world and with augmentation systems and the like. And also I will give a bit of an outlook of what to expect both in GNSS Asia, Galileo, and wider Euspace, and possibly point you to some additional tools that you can use in your lecturing. And anyway, you can ask questions during the chat. We'll try to take them at times. We'll probably take a few breaks in between, and so that you can that we can have Q&A sessions in between, that you don't have to park them until the very end. So briefly about GNSS Asia. GNSS Asia is a European research coordination program under the European Space Research Activity, and we have initiated this in 2012, so we're now almost 10 years old, and all along we've had three big objectives. We want to leverage industrial cooperation across continents, helping companies and innovators to work together across borders. European companies with Asian companies, Asian companies with European companies. We're covering all the way from India to Japan, from Korea all the way down to Australia and New Zealand. India has certainly been one of the main markets we have been active and where we had most of the events. We're also supporting institutional relations, helping to bring together and broaden the reach and the communication between GNSS responsible institutions, application responsible institutions, standardization bodies, space agencies, and the like. In that capacity, we have been hosting a number of delegations in Europe, also some Indian delegations at times, and equally we have brought European industry and institutional delegations to various cities in India, including Bangalore, of course, but multiple times Delhi and even Kolkata, and if I'm not mistaken, even Mumbai. So, and of course, the key activity is to drive eGNSS adoption. eGNSS stands for European GNSS, because European GNSS is more than Galileo. We also have EGNOS, an ESPA system, not too unsimilar from your Gagan. So we also had the privilege over the years to visit multiple times the Gagan Center in Bangalore. So this is the team behind. You see a very multinational team of professionals, some of them working for my organization, Spacetech Partners. At Spacetech Partners, we're currently 30 professionals from probably 20 countries by now. We hired our very first Indian team member into Spacetech Partners on Monday, who is working on a parallel activity to GNSS Asia and working on reach out activities in the Copernicus program. From the very start, we had on board Bharat Krish from Bangalore. He's running our India operations together with his colleague Ravi Kumar. And you see also in the other countries, we've got native speakers who can help with communicating Galileo, GNSS related matters both ways. So you can see the coverage, the predominant coverage of where we are. We're also covering Southeast Asia, and we're intensifying that cooperation here and now, and I'm going to go into that a bit later. We have a network established across the relevant countries in the region, both institutionally, but also industry. You will see here in India, of course, Israel, the Airport Authority, but also a number of companies are covered and many other players in the GNSS market. And numerous universities, I think there are too many of them to list here in this here. And some of them will be mentioned at a later stage. So just a few examples, a few key achievements over the last 10 years here in GNSS Asia. we've had about 60 Indian companies in the network. Whenever we're in India, we're organizing SME or industry roundtables, we're presenting in international conferences, or we're hosting our own. There are 10 years of cooperation with ISRO, initially organized by the father of Gagan and one of the key instrumental people there. So we have a number of briefings, reports, and workshops delivered, and some of them with a very specific focus on India. We have recently started a startup support program, which is helping companies to do business with Asia and to bring them on the radar. It also brings on the radar internationally Asian startups. We're tapping the innovation potential of these large and very populous countries in Asia through the Galileo Hackathons. Traditionally, we started with them with offline physical events, more to come. And currently, we're more in a naturally virtual or hybrid mode. So these are some of the past events that we had only this year, or just a year ago in September last year, we had the EU India Industry Workshop with participants from Europe and from India. You probably might have seen Mr. Velan, the CTO of Elena Geosystems. He might be a known figure, but also Mr. Singh from Jindal Steel, who was one of the first customers of a European-Indian joint venture solution. Similarly, we've done online and hybrid events in the unmanned space, in emergency and maritime topics, or we've done pure briefings about what's happening in China's market, because due to the huge language barrier, we thought it's important that our colleagues on the ground in China present what is happening. And some of the recordings of these events are available for you, and they might also be interesting for you. There we go. 1.5 years ago, we had a milestone event in India, the Galileo Hackathon. It was hosted by the PES University in Bangalore, and we saw participants from many, many other universities from around the world, from around the Indian academic world. Also, you see here, right next to me, just behind the flag, there is also Professor Bose, who has been coming with 1 or 2 teams from his university and was a very active lecturer, but also mentor to the students during this highly interactive 2-day event. Well, there was a night or 2 in between as well. There's also a video on our website to give you an inspiration of how lively this activity was. Yeah? So here are a number of inspirations. We also had side programs at times. We had discussion roundtables. You see in multiple times Dr. Kibe, father of Gagan here in the picture, representatives from the European GNSS institutions, from the European Space Program Agency that is managing Galileo, but also European Commission representatives have been part of the events over the years. So now, what is Euspace? Euspace is the new name for activities all around space activities of the European Union, which had originally started with EGNOS and Galileo, then Copernicus, the Earth observation program, joined in, and now other programs more related to the security and the security of space, but also secure applications for communications have been added to the portfolio. Now, I have here a small little video. I hope the sound is also showing. So all these videos are also available. Could you hear the sound? Maybe I can get
no,
quick feedback.
We could not get the sound.
Okay, sorry about that. That's probably part of the integration issue. Yeah, I have a look how we fix it after the break. Yeah. So these videos are available on the Euspace website. So I guess you're all professionals. You know the technology largely behind, but have a look at it. There is more activities there. So Galileo has a number of services. Some of them are already in the making. The one that is most important for all of you around the world is the open service, available to everyone around the world. The public regulated service is obviously restricted to European secure applications. Currently in the making and partly introduced are high accuracy service, search and rescue service, emergency warning service. And very soon, you will also have the open service navigation message authentication, a bit of a quality stamp on your signal. And we expect that to be adopted by chipset manufacturers very soon. Equally, the emergency warning service will be introduced in handsets over time. I guess the rumors around Apple introducing some kind of satellite services and so forth tells you that there is quite a demand to have services like that in an ever more challenged world with regards to emergencies threatening lives around the world. So we will go in turn into some of these services and explain what is behind and where to find more information about this. So the Galileo Authority, the Euspace, European Space Program Agency, formerly known as GSA, they just renamed themselves about half a year ago. So they're regularly publishing two types of reports, a market report and a technology report. The market reports give you all kinds of insights around all the market verticals, ranging from aviation all the way to new applications like robotics and public health. The user technology report goes more into depth, explains which chipsets have currently adopted the tools, which ones are ready for it, what are the underlying technology trends, touching on the wider P&T area as well. Both types of reports are available for free download. And if you have any inquiries, there are all kinds of slide sets readily available that you can use and adapt to tailor your lectures here and there. The market report has already been translated in the last 3 editions into Chinese, word by word, by Chinese authorities recognizing that the quality of the report seems to be a fair representation of the global GNSS world. Equally, the last issue has also been translated into Japanese. And I think we're quite honored from the European side that this is recognized as a contribution to the community. So these reports show market and technology trends. The latest one has only been developed from GNSS Asia in 2021. So we have developed a specific report for GNSS Asia for the countries that are covered there. So you can also download that from our website. Here we are focusing on civilian applications and civilian authorities. So some more information about what Euspace is doing. I might cut the video short if the sound is the main part that is there. Let me just see, but you get an impression about the building, where they are, what they do.
No, still now it's mute.
There's no sound, okay. Let's fix it in the break.
Okay.
It gives you impressions here about the control centers that Euspace is in charge of for the Galileo program. So here it's introducing the services. Euspace is the bracket between all the European space programs. The main focus is downstream and operations of Galileo. They also have a security accreditation to make sure the systems that the European Union use are compliant with security requirements. They're also supporting startups, researchers, spin-offs from universities, and actively building an ecosystem around that, both in Europe and internationally. The main theme is linking space to user needs, anticipate what's happening around the world, and helping to refine the services from the EU space program. So Euspace has offices in different places of Europe. The headquarters is in Prague, Czech Republic. There are other offices in the Netherlands, in Toulouse, and in Madrid, and a small office, of course, in Brussels next to the European Commission, a number of security centers, one in Saint-Germain-en-Laye and the other one also in Madrid. You see here on this world map outposts with ground stations, most of them on European foreign territory, small islands that are under European jurisdiction, which is a requirement for the security of the system. But all this information is available publicly through the Galileo Service Center, GSC, or through the Euspace website. So we are looking here at what type of technologies are available for positioning data. You are all professionals in the field. This is an overview from a recent market assessment conducted by Spacetech Partners, where we're bringing together the broader P&T picture, where also other technologies are being displayed. Handset-based, infrastructure-based, or a mix thereof, indoor, outdoor, or some that even can be used indoor and outdoor. Obviously, GNSS is a vital, but not the only instrument, and increasingly has to work smoothly together with other tools with a fast reaction time, a fast time to fix, to be useful in even more versatile used mobile gadgets and mobile professional devices. Especially in the area of infrastructure-based cell ID, cell tower triangulation area, a lot has happened in the last years. We're seeing ultra-wideband and Bluetooth activities more and more, especially when it comes to consumer-related applications. So GNSS, and in particular Galileo, has some key features and some differentiators when it comes to ubiquity, accuracy, and security. Different dimensions addressed by different features in different subsets of the system. In particular, on the right-hand side, the European Commission is building tools to make it more difficult for jamming and spoofing, especially spoofing. The open service message authentication will help to make sure that on certain occasions you can rely on the signal more than you can rely on others. And interestingly enough, that tool is also available in mixed constellations when you have only one Galileo signal and mingling it with GPS, GLONASS, or potentially in the future even NavIC. So the signal acquisition, I think there are way more competent people in the audience to explain this than I can do as a non-engineer. The triangulation activities, the rules that apply for GNSS also apply for Galileo, of course, that you need 4 satellites to get a fix and 5 or 6 in an RTK environment. And yeah, so that's the idea. You bring all these things together. Now, the big issues behind it, I think they have been explained in much more technical terminology, is overcoming Doppler effects, overcoming atmospheric issues, and getting these errors and filtered out through either system internal solutions or through solutions that are but with support systems or third systems that provide through broadcast or through the internet correction signals or provided information locally in your RTK system. Increasingly, we see that so-called PPP, a distribution of correction signals from space, is happening and is more commonplace, both commercially and also from the institutional applications. As we see a world getting more and more mobile, getting more and more subject to autonomous motion and autonomous activities, both on the ground with cars and robots. In 10 years, the world will look different, but also in the air with more and more air vehicles, urban transport potentially, but certainly drones. Those type of activities require very accurate and reliable positioning. So what does the Galileo constellation look like? In total, there are 30 satellites in 3 medium Earth orbit planes, elliptical planes, to make sure the most populous areas in the world have the highest coverage. There are 24 operational satellites and 6 spares that are in orbit that will be switched on when needed. So effectively, it's a string of pearls of 3 times 8 satellites with a few spares in case one or two are currently not working. You can see the status of the system anytime through the Galileo Service Center website. It will also give you active warnings if there is an outage or some anomaly for the one or the other satellite. So for those of you who are interested in the positioning of these satellites in space. The inclination is 56 degrees. And in practice, the 8+2 is lived right now with a 9+1 system, saying let's rather have 9 operational in case one is not working. The system is operational. The system is already receiving the first replacement satellites in the next years. Yeah, so they're being planned. And also Europe is working on the next generation of Galileo, which will have new features, new capabilities, possibly more signal power, and also new features of interoperability. To get a feeling for what this looks like, so a bit bigger than man size, the core piece, but if you have the extended solar panels, it's a 13-meter beast, so it's the size of a truck. Yeah? Typically, 2 or 4 fit into a rocket, are launched at the same time, dependent on which rocket one is using. So you see the communication elements, the antennas explained, and what is being used for that, and various sensors, and to make the vehicle itself, the satellite, operate and be properly positioned in space. So those golden or yellow areas, those are the parts that are facing Earth. And the panels are adjusted dependent on where the sun is coming from. Obviously, there are also all kinds of mechanisms there to protect certain equipment with flaps and so forth from the extreme sun that you get in space. The frequency spectrum is complex. There are various bands that Galileo is entertaining. In the Galileo language, they're called E something, E5, E6. In addition to the L language that is used for other systems. The principal one for the open service is L1, fully compatible with many of the other systems. And you see the special services of OS, open service, commercial activities, etc. They are in other signals, different bands. The key part of it, Galileo is fully interoperable with other GNSS constellations. It's providing a free service, the open service free of charge, and at the same time delivering multiple frequency. So the multi-frequency capability is a first in a global satellite navigation system. And we already see the first mobile phones, the first smartphones are getting equipped with multi-frequency chips, which will give you eventually some kind of correction already on the chip and the possibility to get an even better accuracy there. So this signal structure is resistant to multipath, or at least more resistant. And we're working on the global high accuracy service that will deliver a free 20 centimeter accuracy around the world. The initial service for that will be over Europe, and gradually it will be rolled out to the world. And it's the only constellation that provides signal and data authentication. So here a bit more detail about the dual frequency part of it. And sorry for IRNSS still being mentioned there. Of course, it should be called NavIC. That's the old name. And you will see here the overlaps. We see here to what extent which types of frequency bands are being used. What does it mean in practice, the dual frequency capability? Maybe for the Indian context, I should have rather used a cricket field than a football field, but I'm not aware of these tests having been done on a cricket field. So I hope you can recognize this football pitch. So you see the more coarse line, the red line is showing without with single frequency, and you see much more accurate. I don't think any of the contenders, any FC Bayern or Manchester City or anyone would complain if the lines on the football pitch would be drawn with the help of Galileo dual frequency. Yeah? You don't need a tape measure anymore. I think it's fair enough, and the two penalty areas are certainly the same size. So the main benefit of it is the ability to eradicate the ionosphere effect in system without the help of augmentation systems. So, and obviously we're working on recognizing this in various chipsets, and it seems that the chipset manufacturers are adopting these principles, and other constellation providers will gradually follow the multi-frequency path. So now another video. I'm not sure if you should maybe take a short break and check if it works offline. How are we on time? We're probably about a third through. Yes. So let's take a short 5-minute break. I'm just gonna try to figure out how I can get the sound activated, because there's 2 or 3 more videos coming. Yeah. So let's please collect some questions, and we'll start with the Q&A for you it's 1:45. Yeah. Would it be okay?
Okay.
Anand,
Okay.
Anandya?
12:38. It's 12:38 in our time, and we will once again start at 1:45. And in the meantime, I request all the participants, if you have any questions, kindly type in your questions in the chat box, so that at the beginning we can pick up those questions, and after that we will proceed with Mr. Horn. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.